Hi, this is Stephen from Share Navigator, and this is our short-term stock trade alert update. So this is really stocks that are fundamentally sound. We've checked them through our equity scan tool, which is a proprietary tool to Share Navigator that screens out the market and identifies stocks that are fundamentally sound with good upside potential on a longer term basis. And what we're looking at today is stocks that may have reversed, been unlow for the last number of days or weeks, and may be due a reversal, but also have good long-term fundamental upside. So we will only ever trade those type of stocks. So I'll start with the first two. We've already invested into Alaska Airlines. I like the stabilization here. And as you can see here, we've a short-term price target in this of 56. Probably bring that down to 55 now, actually. And what we're doing here is just for a short-term basis, trading this up to the 20-day moving average, or potentially the 50 and 200-day moving average, which is congregating here. So 56 is kind of a common area there. Longer term, we see 68. And again, it's our algorithms that come up with these target prices, the long-term target prices. Flutter, we've jumped into as well, but it looks like we've jumped in a bit too soon there. It's showing up today, which is positive. But Flutter has been hit with a double whammy, really. The UK government talking about increasing betting tax, and then also the rise of different versions of sports betting and prediction models that are starting to emerge from different brokerage houses now, as well as being seen as a challenge. But we still think Flutter is a huge brand, and this is on sale at the moment. So we're in both of those stocks for the medium and the long term. Other stocks that showed up, I'll show you the new ones that appeared in our scans this morning. And then we're going to talk about the ones that we likely are going to trade in the near term. So first things first is MGM. That's come right down, as you can see, the bottom end of the lower Bollinger Band. We've a $35 target price in the short term, 48 in the longer term. And it's currently trading at 33. So you're looking at about 5% potential short-term reversal upside there in MGM. So why are they unloved at the moment? Well, a recent report coming out from China travel statistics, they say the visit to Macau, etc., like that, which is a big gambling territory in China. The numbers are up on last year, but they were below analyst expectations. So there's a bit of a question mark as to whether the spend and the profits from that particular sector will be in line with expectations when we get to earnings season. So we're going to find out soon on that, but it still looks like good value here. To me, Wetherspoons is another one that's reported earnings a couple of days ago, and they've basically said that their margins are going to be hit slightly because of increased costs. Their cost base has gone up. And that's why you're seeing the steady downflow in Wetherspoons. And again, they've had a bit of a pop at the Labour government for the tax increases, which I reckon are causing their business a bit of stress there. But my own view is this is why the value is there at this moment in time. With these stocks here, Wetherspoons and all, you're probably better off waiting until the lower lows stop and we get a period of consolidation before we start investing into that. But again, that's something for the longer term I'd be happy with as well. This is a stock that's cropped back up again, Gen Digital. Again, this is creating lower lows at the moment, so we're not ready to trade this. The reason I put it on the watch list here, though, is that we've kind of reached that support area as well. And if that does hold here, it might be worth to trade back upward. So you can see this is a very common area here of support. The downside, though, here is if this doesn't hold, we could be looking all the way down here about $24, $23, which is substantial downside there. So there are the three new ones that appeared back into our scans. I'm just going to focus in on the three stocks that we're probably likely to trade in the near future. Smurfit Westrock is one. I love this chart here just because it's a rolling sideways trend and it's clearly defined. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that for yourself there. And we're right at the bottom of the range, so I'm liking that. We had a positive day yesterday, which is good. And the lower Bollinger Band seems to have held. So we may look at an entry in there. We're looking at a short-term target of 43.50, which is about 7% higher from where it is now, and a longer-term price target on that as well of $57. So I like the way RSI has gone below 30 and popped back up again as well. So we're liking this one. This is probably one we're likely to trade in the near future. Meta is another one. A bit of stabilization yesterday. Having said that, we've got to be wary of this little the wick here on the previous day's candle there. It's down at about 700. So I'm probably going to wait for Meta to see there's a bottom. Where does this actually bottom? But this is a stock that's had serious momentum over the last number of years and tracking its way back to the 200-day moving average. So we'll probably just be a little bit more patient with Meta. We see a short-term target of 753 on that. That's 713 now. My own view is if this trades kind of below $700, we might take a position in there. And then the next one we're looking at is GoDaddy. We missed that one in terms of we were going to place the trade last week. As you can see, it's rallied back up above. But if we start meandering back down to this support area, we're probably going to pull the trigger and GoDaddy again. And again, trade that up to the 20-day moving average, which is at about 142 there at the moment. So there, the three trades we're lining up in the short term. Smurfit is probably the one we're most likely to pull the trigger on first. And then if Meta and GoDaddy revisit the lows recently, we very may well pull the trigger on those. The three we've added in there, they're all creating lower lows and lower highs. I think we'd rather see that trend stop first before we jump into those stocks. Okay, this is Stephen with an update on our short-term stock trade ideas. If you have any questions at all, please reach out. Thanks and bye for now.